This episode, we're going to talk about RV equipment and a good alternative to some of this equipment. Because some of the stuff could be expensive, it may not fit the right need that you have. So, we're going to talk about the standard stuff and maybe some alternatives to a standard, option. So, we're going to start off with a screen door spring. So, you've seen those ones that they advertise that you mount it to your door. It's real easy to mount. They're not too pricey, but they're a little bit pricey. I'm going to tell you an option right here that is probably 60%, maybe 70% cheaper. It's pretty much guaranteed it's not going to break on you because it's just a spring. And it's just as easy to install, if not easier, than the other option. So this is just another option, easy. It does the same exact functionality. You can pick these up at Home Depot or Lowe's. Just a nice cheap option. Next on my list is RV levelers. So you've seen those, automatic RV leveling kits. They got, little gauges that require batteries, automatic leveling devices. There's millions and millions of different ways to level your RV. But the one I'm going to show you here, it is a cheap, very cheap, but it does the same exact job and it doesn't require batteries. I think it's personally the same exact speed. There's no labor to do this task. So same speed, no labor, doesn't require batteries, less maintenance. So in my opinion, it's a good fit and it does the same thing. It stabilizes your RV. And it's better than those little scissor jacks. Those scissor jacks, the problem with them is they scissor like this, but they don't give any point of stability. So they wiggle this way, they wiggle this way, they can wiggle all around, where a angle bracket that's like that gives you a stability of one direction. So next on my list, you'll see those RV cleaning clean out things. And the problem I have with them is most of them, like 99% of the time, they don't get enough fluid into your tank. The spray outs, they can't jet fluid into your tank. And even if you're filling up your tank with it, you're just filling up water in the tank and then you're going to drain it again. So you're not getting a deep clean. Where this device, it is a good deep clean. It's cheap. It's really cheap. And I mean, it really does a great cleaning. You take the little thing and you move it up and down in the tank through your toilet. And it just does a great job. Now, this will only work on if you have a toilet that's right over your black tank. So if your toilet is mounted directly over the black tank, this will work. A lot of RVs, I would say the majority of them, are mounted that way. So if you open up your toilet, you see the tank right below it. This thing will work wonders for it. Now this one's a little contradicting. So you have RV standard air conditioners. 99% of them are noisy. They're very noisy and they suck up, anywhere from 1,800 watts of power to 2,000 watts of power. So they are a major power draw. They're noisy. I'm not a fan of that. Now, this option only works if you have a place to mount it, and that's a window air conditioner. And I know some people, they don't like them because, when you look at the RV industry, the window air conditioner is installed on the cheaper RVs. So people automatically think it's a cheap RV if you have a window air conditioner. But that window air conditioner sucks low wattage, and we're talking like 200 watts of power. So I can cool an 18-foot RV, probably even 22-foot RV with 200 watts of power draw compared to 1,500 watts. Now, I know it's not always going to be 200 watts. It may ramp up to 500 watts of power once in a while, but it's still going to draw probably about 70% less power, which means you need 70% less batteries, you need 70% less solar, you need 70% less inverter power. So all of these pieces, and wiring, all these parts means that you don't have to spend all that money to have air conditioning running on solar. Now I want to talk about fancy showers and faucets, so water faucets. So if you look at these, fancy showers and RVs, they are designed only to go in an RV park because they require a lot of water. You can't go boondocking in these. You just can't go out in the middle of nowhere, on national parks and go camping because you're going to run out of water. So, my opinion, I don't like them because, yeah, you do get a great shower with those fancy showers, but I still get a great shower with this one, and it uses 80% less water. So I can not only get a great shower at a park, but at a national park, I can also get a nice shower and not use, all my water up. Now, another water conserving thing, and you'll see in RVs, the fancy pull down sinks in the nicer RVs, and that's where you can get a little sprayer. It does give lots of nice features, but that head is going to suck gallons and gallons of water out. So if you want to conserve water, then that is not the way to go. You need to go with a standard faucet. Now you can get fancier ones than the one I have, but the one I have works, so I don't have to worry about it. When it breaks, I'll put a fancier one on there. But you need to make sure that it can hold that little gallon per minute screw-on nozzle. And as long as it can do that, mine uses 0.5 gallons per minute. And the normal RV one is anywhere from 2 to 3 gallons per minute. So that's a huge water savings. And the last thing, this is more of, if you're shopping for an RV, or, even if you have an RV, if you're looking for a new RV, or you're wanting to replace something, or this is for you all. Don't go out and, it's the keeping up with the Joneses thing. Don't go out and buy the biggest monstrous RV you can find out there. Yeah, it's like buying a McMansion, that you're driving down the road, but it means, you got to have a massive truck, lots of gas to pull it. So it requires a lot of stuff. Where if you say, maybe I only need a 18 footer, like what I have, for a family of 4. Will this do it? Am I full-time RVing with my family? Then no. This is going to be kind of tight for, full-timing with a family of 4. It just, it wouldn't be a pretty scene. But if you are full-timing and it's just you and your wife, or just you, then, an 18 footer is probably just fine because you got a nice table area, all your amenities, and a great bed. So maybe it's just fine for you. What I want to get at is, if you don't need to spend the money on, these massive McMansion RVs, then don't do it. You just don't need it. And another way is, maybe you won't even like it. Maybe you won't like RVing full time. So go in with a travel trailer or something, even used. Used is always pretty good. Don't go too used. Go like, within 10 years from new. So, 2016, because it's 2026 right now. Go with something that's within 10 years of being used. Check it out. And you can save a lot of money. So an RV that would normally be $25,000, you can spend, $7,000 for that same exact RV because it's used. So, save on the money, buy a used one. And then if you want to trade up, you want to get a little bigger, you didn't throw away a ton of money. You didn't buy the, the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 travel trailer and then say, I need to get a little bigger one. And you're, lost because it's old now. You didn't throw away all that money. I always suggest getting used. It just saves you a little bit of money. And then if you don't like it, then you can trade it in or sell it. And you won't lose that much money. So that's pretty much summarizes this. I just wanted to make a video to explain, options for different types of equipment, and, to let you know, RVing is great. RVing I think it's one of the greatest things to do because it's relaxing. As an older person like me, this is, the best recreation thing I can do out there. That's it for this episode. And again, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe because you all make it happen.